We are here at ASTE in Cary, North Carolina, part of the Independent Garage Owners of North Carolina annual show. You really want to hear from three shop owners who have made a commitment to invest in their team, invest in, be it planes, trains, automobiles, and hotel rooms, and the tuition to come here and to bring their entire team. One of the things I love about ASTE is there's a fee for the entire shop, doesn't matter how many you have, which is really a cool idea. And I want to introduce my panel here in a minute, but first I want to let you know that, performance and reliability, now that's what Jasper's remanufactured diesel engines provide, mile after mile. Jasper's running complete engines are dynamometer tested with horsepower and torque ratings recorded. Now there's a nationwide warranty included too. Talk about dependable service, and thanks, Jasper, for supporting the Town Hall Academy. Go to jasperengines.com. With me is Tristan Raymer from Lock Performance in Napanee, Indiana? Napanee. I knew I'd say that wrong. Is that an old Indian name?
Not that I'm aware of.
Napanee, Indiana. Good to have you here, Tristan. How many you got in your team that's with you?
I have 3 here.
3. Technicians, service advisor?
Service advisor and 2 techs.
Fabulous. Great. Greg Ritter's here from Ritter's Auto Repair in Kimundi. Did I say that one right?
Correct.
In
Good job.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois. And how many are here from your team?
I have 2 techs and myself. My service advisor was not unable to be here due to shoulder surgery, or I'd have her here.
But she would be here had she not had an issue. And James Perry from Perry Diesel Performance. Hello, James.
How are you?
I'm great. Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Glad to have you here. Someone told me you were a diesel tech for a lot of years.
I was.
Or I'm sorry, a dealership tech.
I was a dealership tech for a little while.
How long?
Just under a year. It wasn't very long.
Just under a year?
Yeah.
And then you got the itch.
I did. I had the itch before I went there, but
you
it
did.
just happened to fill a void I needed.
Cool. Very good. Okay, so we're doing this. We're doing this here at ASTE, and I moderated a panel just a little bit ago, and I asked how many people actually closed their shops to come here. And I have to tell you guys, I was surprised to see the number of hands that went up. So there's no doubt a trend going on in the industry. However, I hear constantly of the excuses. I can't do this. What about my customers? I can't lose revenue. But yet, I'm guessing there's 20 shop owners that closed the shop. Now, there's different ways to do it. If you're a 5-day-a-week shop, you close on Friday and you take off and you either fly or you drive to your training, and then you do the Friday, Saturday thing, and you drive back Sunday and you're open again. And I can't see in my mind why this type of investment wouldn't work, especially if you've groomed your customers and you're not going to book any work on that Friday anyway. I mean, you got months to know. Am I right? Sure. To warn the customers. So guys, how does it work? What are the tactics behind telling the customer that you're going to be closed on this particular Friday? Give me an idea, Greg.
I usually put it out on Facebook that I'm going to be gone. I usually tell my customers I've been talking about ASTE and closing for this event for several months. As my customers comes in, I already tell them that I'm going to be going. They understand. They understand that technology is changing today. At a rapid pace, and if we don't train, we are basically got a time clock on our head because our time's up.
Tristan, do the customers ever say you guys go to training?
Absolutely.
And then they say, "Wow, I had no idea." And then you say, "Well, we've got to have at least 40 or 50 hours a year to keep up." And are they impressed?
Yeah, actually, during our break just earlier, I had a number of voicemails on my phone, and they were actually from customers wondering why they couldn't get us hold at the shop, even though we had it on social media and whatever. Yeah. But all that aside, the real point for us to come to training like this is to better provide for them. So we're investing our time to do a better job for them.
So there's somebody out there saying, exactly, Tristan, that's why I won't close my shop, because I don't want to get those emails from my customers. Now, will you lose those customers who couldn't get a hold of you today?
No.
Okay. They trust, they're, if you will, quote, air quotes, loyal, and they understood.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That you had to take the whole place to training.
Absolutely.
Oh, damn.
We're here to learn to better understand their vehicle and to ultimately provide a better service for them.
So they're not going to say, "Oh, damn, I can't get my car fixed today." You're going to say, "Hey, why don't you get in here on Monday right away? We'll take care of you."
Why don't you wait a day, and by waiting a day, we can better serve you. Absolutely.
That's cool. I love that. James, same issue on the customer side?
Not really an issue. I'm kind of in the same, but I think what he is, if you forewarn people, don't schedule work for that, the end of this week. Most of them understand. Most of them don't give us any feedback on it. Some of them are kind of impressed that we take the whole shop to training.
How early do you start telling your customers that you're not going to be here on this particular day?
I've been sharing it with my customers for quite some time. They know that my whole shop is active in several expos throughout the year. I got messages while I was in class this morning of customers that dropped vehicle off needing this done today. And all I did was respond back that, sorry, we're out to training today in North Carolina. And they actually clicked back and said that I'm glad you're training. And they totally understand that we have a challenge before us.
You go to Vision too?
Yes, I do.
Same.
Been going for 24 years.
24 years.
Yeah.
And when did you start taking your team and closing?
About 5-6 years ago, I started that. And before I would go by myself, thinking that I would have to keep the shop up and running and the technicians would stay back. I would go, I would get the training. I would be excited. I would come back really on a high, and I would try to share some of those things with my technicians when I got back, or my service advisor. What I found was they weren't excited as well. So they knocked me down, basically put my fire out. Within a day or two, I was back to the same level I was before I went.
That's the big thing.
Right. And when I found out the power behind taking the whole crew and everybody coming back on that same level of excitement, the powerful momentum that gave.
Well, you just really broke the code, I hope, for many people. And here's my goal. Our goal as a team is to try to change some paradigms that exist out there where I can't take my people to training. I don't want to ask you personally how much it's costing you to bring your team here, how much the bar bill would be tonight with your team, the value and the price you could put on the networking that happens as your guys meet other techs from other parts and they discuss the training. Oh my God, it's all priceless, but you're making an investment. No doubt you've got to have budgets for training anyway. And so if you're putting a percentage of your sales, your revenue into training, you may be spending it all just once a year instead of dripping it out over the course of the year by going to some night training. And the guys go to get their pizza, they fall asleep at 8:30, and they come back and they said, "Boss, it was good, thanks. I learned a couple of things." But here, they're in the deep end of the pool, am I right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Work hard, you play hard. You work hard all day, and you unwind in the evenings.
Yeah, that's what I learned about Vision way back when I started to go, is that how much relaxing that happened at night because of the intensive training during the day. You find that here?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so you have Greg, you figured out this whole recovery thing. Your guys really when you first started to do this, did you say, "Hey, so we're going to lose 10 grand. I don't know what the number is of revenue on a particular day. Just pick the number, whatever it is. Could be 15 grand.
Mm-hmm.
You find that when you look back, it's made up.
Yes,
and that's the key. I think everybody needs to understand is that the team realizes, hey, the boss spent a lot of money, and we got to make it up to him.
Absolutely.
Events like this, the best analogy I can think of is just trying to drink from a fire hose. There's a lot of information. There's a ton of content all at one time, and you soak up as much as you can because there is a lot out there and it's a lot of good stuff.
But is that bad then? Because it is not bad, because you've always got the manual to go back to, and you have the memory of saying, I know exactly where in the book I need to go to get this information, even though I was fire hosing, right?
Yep.
So fire hosing is okay because the drips and drabs of the 2 or 3 hour night times even don't have as much impact as fire hosing.
It's a concentrated thing. So you're here all weekend, and so it is more intentional. And for me personally, you get a lot more out of it rather than just the couple hours here and there on the weeknights. On those days, typically if you've worked all day long and you're probably tired from your work day, you go to the classes in the evening, like you mentioned, you eat a pizza and you're going to start dozing off by the time the evening's over. So the whole weekend like this, where you're here to concentrate on training, is amazing.
James, how many are here with your group?
I have 5 in total, including me.
You and 5.
Yes.
The wife's in there.
Yep.
Does the wife work in the business?
The wife runs the front of the show.
Cool.
I'm kind of in the middle, front and back.
Okay.
And I got 3 full-time techs.
All right. And her name is Kathy.
Yes.
Now, we are missing lunch, but trust me, I'll get you out of here soon and we'll have lunch. But have you had a chance to talk to your guys at all? And what are they saying about the morning training so far?
My guys have loved it. I've only spoke to one of them so far. He's actually rooming with us.
Okay.
The other 2 are in a separate room, but he said he got a lot out of what he sat through this morning. A lot of very critical information, a lot of stuff that normally wouldn't be covered on some of the nighttime classes like we talked about. It was very in-depth. So he took a lot from it.
Tristan, have you talked to your guys?
I have, yes. And they all particular were very impressed with the content, very practical. Especially I talked to one of the techs that I have here, and he was impressed with the big thick workbook that he got sent home with. He said, "This is amazing. Not all the stuff was covered in the workbook, but that's additional information that he can take home and look through it." And so, yes, absolutely.
Do you build a resume on training for your people?
I haven't, but I will be.
I have not built a resume. My techs know that how much I value it, and they really enjoy going. I don't have any problems getting them committed to training.
A few weeks ago, we were doing a show in Biloxi, and it came up, and this idea hit me hard about getting a spreadsheet and putting all the classes down the left and the techs along here. And, you know, every new class you take them to and the subject and the place you were at, and then you would X the box so that you could go back and look at, you know, if there was any GDI training and who got it and what level of specialty was it. And if you needed to pick a class or two for your people, because, you know, you're not coming here and investing your money unless you're looking it over and saying, okay, who's going to this and who's going to this. And not all of your guys can go to the same training, so they may cross-train each other when they get back. Have you ever done any of that?
That was actually my intention. I specifically, we talked about that, me and my guys, and I said, I don't want any of you sitting in the same classes together.
Great strategy.
Conquer and divide.
Conquer and divide. I love it. And so, you know, building your strategies. I mean, go back to the bookshelf somewhere in the business where all these manuals are, okay, and pull them off the shelf. Throw anything that's like 3 years old, you know, out. Because that's old by now, right?
Expired, yeah.
Yeah, the technology is gone by that time. And just build this resume and let it be your, if you will, guidepost, your compass for future training. Your guys say anything to you, Greg?
Yes, I come into the lunch or into the room there where we met for the podcast today. They was all sharing. It was neat to walk up and see them sharing their classes to each other, and I asked them how they enjoyed their class, and they was both very excited. They felt like that you know, they got a lot more in depth with things than what we do whenever we normally take our evening classes through our parts stores or through our it got really more detail. But and then I like to have my technicians share 5 things from each class, and then we all get together, and you know, they all take different classes. That's how I spread them out to be able to cover more of a variety. And then we all have meetings at our shop where we get together and we have, you know, share 5 things that you took away from it. And it's a very good team building exercise to kind of watch everybody share what they took away from the class, and then figure out how we're going to implement that in our diagnostic process or in our policies in our shop. And it's powerful to get everybody on the same team.
Everybody listen.
Yeah.
He just said some really powerful stuff. I heard team building. I heard meetings. I heard integrating processes and in diagnostics. I mean, that's what running a business is about today.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Wow. Team building. So you obviously realize that this doesn't happen happenstance. Everything's for a purpose.
It takes being intentional.
Yes, exactly right. Good stuff. Team building. So when you're done with your investment of training per year, do you really think it has an impact on your bottom line?
Absolutely.
For sure.
If you take the comebacks alone, that's one of the things I track in my shop is the amount of comebacks. I track it through everything.
By the way, did you hear when I was doing the panel?
Absolutely, I did.
I mentioned as part of a technician compensation plan could be
Mhm.
a percentage of comebacks on an individual basis, and they would earn an incentive if they were in a tolerance. And I asked how many people track comebacks.
Right.
Not many hands.
Yeah,
There were what 500 in the room.
Right.
Not many hands went up.
It's a powerful thing to track. I bill everything that comes back, where if it be a tech error or a parts failure or a visor error, I track that by billing out the invoice at full price, and then I receive it under a credit card that is named by that event, just like MasterCard or Visa. I'll have a credit card named warranty tech error, warranty advisor, etc.
Got it.
Then I track that, and it's neat to deep dive into that and say, okay, this tech error has been, maybe he's made an error on misdiagnosing a drivability situation 3 times in this area, this particular system. It's time to look for training for him. And then sometimes I find it's me not providing the tools that they need to do that job properly. So maybe I need to, get a different tool or a different scan tool or something to be able to do that job more efficiently. By tracking advisor error, I get the chance to see where I need to train my advisor. For parts, it's nice to know that, okay, I've had 3 of this particular brand of alternator or whatever it is fail. It's time to have a meeting with that vendor and see, maybe I need to change a vendor on that product to give a better service to my customer, to help them to be more safe and reliable.
No doubt you're doing it right. I see you shaking your head, Tristan. So,
Couldn't agree more.
You're right on. You agree to this.
Actually doing some of the same things he is.
Okay. James, how about you?
There was a lot he said about not pointing fingers at the tech for comebacks. It's not always the tech.
Yeah.
A lot of people are quick to just let a technician go over, especially if you had 3 comebacks in a short period of time. As hard as it is to find good help, there's a lot to be said about taking the time to figure out why those comebacks happen. Was it his fault? Did you not provide the tools for him, or is he just not trained properly on new equipment? Last thing I want to do is fire, especially a good employee. That is the last thing I want to do. I want to figure out what we need to do to improve him.
Count to 10, right, guys? Pausing. I've learned in my life that pausing and describe any way you want it. If it's count to 10, it's kind of like this. You get an email from a customer, not happy. Worst thing to do would be to reply right away, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you could reply on a piece of paper, but never reply in the same email because you may press the send button and regret it.
You probably will regret it.
You absolutely will. And you have to get off of your hot index, if you will. And it's the 24-hour rule. You've ever heard that one?
Sleep on it.
Yeah, the 24-hour rule before you reply. And it didn't matter if it was a customer, if it was a technician. It was anything that pushed you off of an edge somewhere. I know this has nothing to do with why we're here, but we kind of, the podcast will go places if it feels good and it sounds good. Now, networking. You guys have had a chance to meet shop owners from all over the country here and all the seminars that you go to. Have you built a little networking opportunity out of the training that you guys do and the conferences that you go to?
Absolutely.
Give me some in depth about the value that it's been to you. James, how about I start with you?
Well, you get to hear a lot of stuff you wouldn't normally hear from the average person. A lot about shop labor rate, comebacks, what to do, which is really how we found out about this place, was networking with other shops. Honestly, if it hadn't been for Lucas Underwood, I don't know if I'd have known about it now. He was probably one of the first one to introduce us to it. And also really talked us into the value of coming here. It was a lot of what he said that made us, focus on biting the bullet, spending the money to come here. Yeah. And just shining a light on what will happen later. Not so much what you're going to lose a day to be here, but the opportunity to not only gain that back, but to do better when you go back than you were doing when you came here.
Let's talk about networking with technicians, Tristan. I mean, them hearing, yeah, we're gonna go back and bust hump and make this up to the boss. I mean, it's got to be discussed amongst the techs, right?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Absolutely. So, in talking about that, just a real quick rabbit trail. One of maybe not a rabbit trail, but one of, as a shop owner, specifically an auto shop owner, one of your biggest investments is your technicians. The value or the compensation that you pay them. So if you're looking for a return, you're going to invest well. And so in that, there is, it puts pressure onto you to really provide excellent content, excellent places like this to go to, where they can interact with other techs and get some excellent training. You're investing into them personally and also as a career. So I think it's very important.
Got it. I understand. How about you for networking?
Yes, absolutely. My second year here, and I came out here last year. I'd heard about it through my business coach, Rick White. Was teaching classes here. I was coaching with him, and I heard the excitement in his explaining what they do here. And so I come out, and I go to a lot of expos a year, and I didn't realize that this place has such a family atmosphere. Once you come here, you walk away with friends that really truly care about your success, and they will reach out to you. Bob, for instance, is a incredible man. He has a lot of knowledge of our industry, and just puts us on a pedestal.
I know.
He's always there to reach out to, and he'll offer advice. And if you don't know the answer, he'll go get it.
That would be Bob Pulverenti, executive director here. Yeah, he's a
Good man.
Yeah, he's a good man and detail man. I don't know if you know that. He's extremely detailed.
Yeah.
Nothing gets by. Nothing gets by Bob, and that's why this show runs so perfectly. Look at. I hope we have driven the point home without going over it too many times, and make this a short, sweet, simple listen for our industry, to let them realize that investing in team training, team travel training, has so many benefits. Technician networking, the value of you networking, team building. You guys say, no doubt, my bottom line increases. Now, is that a feeling, or do you actually see the fact that we're doing well, making more money because of our commitment to training? Is it easy or tough to measure?
I actually measure it. I have a spreadsheet that I've created that I list my annual sales every year, and I list my comebacks. I list my training dollars, and I have formulas set up to see that increase. For instance, last year my sales went up 25%, and my comebacks went down $4,000. So I feel like that money spent, better equip my technicians and my advisors to provide better service, and my customers appreciate the fact that we spend the money and the time to train.
So the KPIs that Rick has you watch, efficiencies and AROs and gross profit per hour, they're all strong for you. And you say that training is part of it.
Absolutely.
And Tristan is shaking his head. James, you kind of on board with that?
Absolutely. This is our first year here, and we're learning a lot already. We sat through one of Rick's classes this morning, and took a lot from him. We have another class to sit with him this afternoon. And there's been a lot of talk of actually trying to work with him as a business coach on our end to get the full benefit from him.
Good for you. Rick's a good guy. Hey, one final thing. Are you guys doing any CEO style training, management training?
I am. I'm actually part of Rick's inner circle group.
Okay.
So am I.
And so is Tristan.
Okay. Great.
And that's took my business to a new level. I never realized that being part of a group that we meet twice a month for 2 hours on a Zoom meeting, where we can talk face to face on camera. We just come back from our first live event in Burlington, Vermont, the first of this month.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It was powerful. I've never done an event like that, but we're actually seeing our group become family, and we reach out anytime we got a problem. Somebody's out there posting it, and we offer advice, and it's just a very powerful thing.
So when you were looking over the ASTE All the seminars.
Right.
Did you pick one that would help you with your CEO leadership, marketing and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So your techs, will you guys ever go to tech training just to keep fresh, or are you guys always going to go to management training?
I like to mix it up a little bit.
You do.
Actually, this year I'm all 100% management training out here, but it's because my techs was able to cover the classes that we felt we needed.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. And if not, are you still getting your hands dirty, Greg?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Damn.
My techs may not tell you that, but yes.
What do you love the most?
I like to do diagnostic drivability.
All right. Okay, cool. How about you, Tristan? What are you taking management courses?
Right now, yes, I'm actually taking all management courses. As Greg mentioned, we're in a group together, and so I've been Rick is our coach, and we've had an amazing time. So in that, that's one thing I am doing currently is a lot of just management training, learning to be a better leader for my guys, and I'm finding it to be invaluable. It's been stretching. There's a lot of vulnerabilities there. So overall, hands down, definitely recommend it.
I'm going to get to you, James, in a minute, but as the average age of the vehicles keeps rising, 11.8, 11.9 years now, your customer's old engine or transmission is going to wear out. And when that day comes, Jasper will be the name to remember. Jasper's remanufactured products cost considerably less than a new vehicle. So it just makes sense to choose Jasper for your customers' drive, train solutions. JasperEngines.com. James, for you, management, tech training.
This time we're doing all management.
You are?
Yes.
Okay.
Me and my wife are.
You and your, okay.
Our guys are here doing the technical side of it.
All right.
So we're hoping we can share a lot of information, with each other. More so than to let us in on the technical stuff. No need to spend a whole lot of time on the management side back to them.
Right.
I have one guy here that's my lead tech. We'll probably fill him on, some of the management stuff. But
okay, question. We had that great panel discussion this morning, and of course, owners and techs were in the room. We talked about a lot of interesting and sensitive topics about pay and retention and bonuses and incentives. What do you think they took from it? The techs. What do you think the techs took from that kind of dialogue?
Well, I think they see that we value them and that we are, by attending events like this, we're trying to build their work environment to be more pleasant and more family oriented. I value family time at my shop. My techs knows that if they've got a family event, they just ask for it off, give me a little bit of notice, we're gone. They can just go, and appreciate the fact that they want to be involved in their families.
absolutely.
Tristan, was that a little too personal for techs to hear us talk about that, or was it just exactly what they needed to hear?
No, it was not too personal. I try to be absolutely 100% transparent with my guys. So if I have a goal, I do my best to give them, present everything. Obviously, we're all working towards the same end goal here. So in my opinion, there's no reason to hide that. We all have our different roles. We're a team here, and we all have our different roles, but we got to complement each other. So in that, I'm here for the management side. They're here for the technical side, and we can, like I said before, it's divide and conquer. So if I can teach them, pass along some of the things that I've learned and how I can better serve them, then they can maybe fill me in on some of the technical things that they've learned.
Sure.
So,
James, were we too personal on that panel?
Not at all. Not at all. Your technicians need to be appreciated for sure.
But they needed to hear what we talked about, that we value them, and that we're busting our hump to do everything we possibly can to get them to another level.
Yeah, we're here to help our customers in the end, but we're also here to help our technicians along the way.
Well, you don't have the team. The team supports the customers, right?
No doubt.
Wow. Thanks. I think we made our point. Appreciate your take back on what's going on here at ASTE 2019. James Perry from Perry Diesel Performance. Tristan Raymer. Am I saying, is it Raymer? Raymer. Lock Performance in Napanee. I gotta learn how to say the Napanee, Indiana, and Greg Ritter from Ritter's Auto Repair in Kinmundy, Illinois. Yeah. Thanks for being here, guys.
It's been a pleasure
having us.
Been an honor.